Hello, this is Angela here from Soul Tarot. Welcome to your weekly reading for the 23rd to the 29th of March 2020. And we are in very interesting times right now. I'm going to look at things a little bit differently in terms of the virus that's out there, and just have a look and talk about what I see as the energy and the lessons for us right now, rather than the actual forecasting of what is in store for us over the coming weeks, in terms of when and all of this. So what I normally do every Sunday, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, I release a video on Facebook, Soul Tarot with Angela, and YouTube. And the post also goes on the Soul Tarot with Angela Facebook. So thank you to everyone who selected a card for this week. I know we are sort of in uncertain times at the moment, and the cards actually reflect that as well. So that's why I'm using this particular Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland, because it has some very strong sort of astrological type messages that I think might help us at this time to understand how to navigate all the different energies and all the different challenges that we might be facing personally or as a collective, which is, I think is what the message is for us all. So what I'll do is, first I'm just going to talk about what's happening in the skies. A couple of days ago on the 20th, Sun entered Aries. So happy birthday to all the Aries out there. I hope you're having an awesome kind of new astrology year. Because we have all these different new years. We have the 1st of January New Year, we have the Chinese New Year at the beginning of February, and then we also have the astrology New Year, which is towards the end of March. So as I said, happy birthday. This is when things start changing, because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is all about action. It's kind of the warrior sign, the go-getter, it can be quite aggressive as well, but it's really definitely one to stand up and notice and, let's take action. So I feel as well there's another particular transit worthy of talking about, and that is Saturn entering Aquarius, which it did yesterday. I'm recording this on the 22nd of March, and on the 21st, Saturn, it changes signs every 2.5 years, but it's quite big, it entering Aquarius. So I just feel with this one, this is going to be quite interesting, because Saturn's all about lessons, it's all about learning, it's all about discipline, getting things right, doing things properly. It's quite a conservative sign, but it's quite strict. And Aquarius is all about freedom. It's an air sign. So it's actually quite interesting that, we have this airborne virus with Saturn entering Aquarius. But I feel with this, with all the air restrictions as well that we have, again, Saturn is putting restrictions on flights with Aquarius, okay? So that's not a surprise. We're going to find that this is going to, this particular energy, while quite strong at the moment, it will start to kind of get to a peak and then start plateauing out. And I think that's when we'll start seeing a bit of a relaxation of travel. And Saturn will actually spend 3 months in Aquarius, and then it will go back into Capricorn and then move forward again into Aquarius in December for that 2.5 year break. So look, I feel like it's a pretty important transit, and one that I really wanted to mention. We've got a new moon in Aries happening on the 23rd. So this is very much about new beginnings and making peace with the past. And this is why I feel, with the cards that we've got this week, but also just generally on the planet, with everyone just taking a breather. We have been going crazy with digital. This just gives us a minute to stop. Now, we've actually got 2020 is actually a 4-year, which is the 4th sign of the zodiac, meaning Cancer, which is about family. So this is working from home is really good to spend time with family, connect with those, and then just look at the past and make peace with it, because then when all of this is over, we can move forward. Because the lesson is not just focusing on relationships and family and bonding and finding out who you really bond with and who you don't, because this is another area that, you know, you're going to be a lot more honest with. But to just really sort of be the best version of yourself, you know, take stock, embrace all your flaws and your life choices, and really, you know, get yourself rewired for more positive emotions and more awareness to what you want to, where you want to put your energy. A lot of people at the moment, and if you're more aware and more sensitive, I feel a lot of us are putting a lot of love and compassion out to all the people who are panicking. I know that that's where I feel my work is, in being, you know, a starseed or whatever you want to call someone who does this work, is to be out there and really put out that love to everyone who is feeling pain, who's feeling lack, who's feeling all of those negative things. Now, that's not to say that I don't sometimes go down that rabbit hole when I pick up on that myself, and I think, oh, and then I become acutely aware when I go down that path for a few minutes, and then I think, okay, well, you know, that's just not me, and this is where I prefer to go, where I prefer to put my energy. So for anyone who's read a little bit about Abraham Hicks and seen her videos, she talks about, you know, going downstream or upstream. You know, upstream's obviously, you know, a whole lot easier when things are flowing and it feels good. When it goes downstream, it doesn't feel so good. So I just wanted to highlight a bit of that energy and astrological update. I'll get into the cards right now. So this first one is card 1, adjustments are required. This is the third quarter moon card. This is about reevaluating a certain situation. So it's a crisis maybe within your mind, or it could be about a person, a situation, something going on in your life at the moment. But a mental perception, I feel, here is being challenged. I feel like there's been some issues around you that could have been a bit negative, and at the same time be wonderful, because it's given you so much clarity and so many lessons. There is, with this card, often things that need to be let go of. So you have to be honest with yourself and release those toxic emotions or thoughts into the ether. Thing is, with this card again, I was talking about this with the energy of lack and or abundance. All isn't lost with this card. So if there is some grief related to that issue, it's a really good time to let that go and see where else you can take your thoughts. Because again, this is very much about getting mentally caught up. If you have been, I feel for you, if you have been caught up in this coronavirus for any thing related to yourself personally, you know, whether that be job or, you know, people around you going a bit crazy, I do have compassion for you, and again, get into the mindset that is fitting for you, rather than follow what other people are doing. You know, how do you want to live your life? How do you want us to show up collectively? So this is where focusing on community, being abundant, even if the external isn't showing up that way at the moment, it's because everything will go back to better balance sooner than you think. So yeah, basically don't get caught up in the panic if this is what it's about for you with the current global situation. Second card is about the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. Love that picture of this card. So this is about the word being your wand. Gemini is about communication. It's ruled by Mercury. It's really important to speak your truth with this card, but it's also really important to know that your words have consequences for the other person, and even just for your own karma if you over direct. So you may need to guard against indiscretion, saying too much. And again, with this, us entering Aries, the sun entering Aries a few days ago, the moon being in Aries, new moon tomorrow, Mars is about expressing yourself, and sometimes it can be us and them energy, if you get them on a bad day. So you might want to be direct and get to the heart of the matter, and that's good and fine, but then it's also, how does that then going to come across to the person that you love? I feel you could be a few conversations away from that particular issue that you're thinking about being resolved. So while it might help to talk, It's just being careful about not saying anything that you might regret, and they push that person away, because words have such power. And I just feel that, you know, you create the magic in your own reality every time you express yourself. Sometimes also this card shows a good time to study. So with the Gemini and, you know, Mercury, all about communication and all of that. So that could be a good time for that, or good news about job applications. All right, so this one here, as we get towards the end of the reading, look at the bigger picture. This is the full moon in Sagittarius. This means that you're unable to see the wood for the trees. So you might be getting carried away in the details mentally, be distracted by other issues that might, in fact, be hindering progress. This might be because you want to control situations, or you fear failure. It could be a number of things going on for you. It can mean you're currently faced with a really great opportunity, but your mind's getting carried away with all the things that could be going wrong with it, or being done to move it forward. You could be indecisive, less organised thoughts. So the way to get past this is to step back and see things from a broader perspective. Like if you've been wanting to do something for ages and ages, and now you feel finally ready, then you start talking yourself out of it again. So I just feel like, you know, Jupiter's ruled by Sagittarius, so this energy is really good to call on this week if you do want to exert more energy onto something, especially if you're working from home and you might have other projects. Work might be a bit quiet. I'm not saying that you do other things while you're supposed to be working, but I'm just saying, you know, you might be able to juggle your hours a bit during the day, that you get some other things done where you would have been traveling before. So this energy of this card, as in card 2, is being careful also not to overspeak and say something you might regret. So as I was saying before, the energies is very much about us staying in love and compassion for all the people who are struggling and who are in fear. You know, we are ascending as Earth now, and this is like a cleansing, if you like. This virus is like, you know, the Earth has been, if you like, as a collective, a little bit tired, a little bit sort of not unwell, maybe going in the wrong direction. And it's almost like, well, we need to actually pause as a collective and then heal ourselves and then be able to move forward. So, you know, this is very fitting where it says, you know, adjustments are required. We could talk about that as a collective. Those answers that we're seeking, you know, they're coming. But let's not be over the top about it, and let's not get carried away with our fear as well. So I'm wishing you a wonderful week ahead. I hope this reading has helped you and given you clarity. This is a general reading. As I said, if you need a personal clarification about your issues right now, please reach out to me and I'd love to do a reading for you. Thumbs up if this resonates for you, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye for now.